Raga suttee काय सरगा आपल्याला
here init do filter
బీరువాలో ఉన్న ఖర్చు ఉన్న కట్టాల అలా పట్టుతున్నాయి.
నా దగ్గర
whenever first request comes, then how many methods called? 2 methods. Second request, 1 method. Third request, last request, 1. Okay, last request which method called? Do filter only, not destroy. Okay, you studied already. Same. Say first request comes, init and do filter. Many times. Okay, next write it. The above all methods, the above all life cycle methods are the part of Java Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface. Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface. The above all life cycle methods are the part of Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface. The above all life cycle methods are the part of Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface. Every filter must implements Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface to derive life cycle. Every filter must implements Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface to derive life cycle. Every filter must implements Jakarta dot Solid dot filter interface to derive life cycle. So in this interface, life cycle methods are there. Init, do filter, destroy. See the parameters, all those things. See, these all methods. Note down. See, init method takes filter config. filter method takes solid request, solid response, and filter chain. Here 3 parameters it takes. So init method, do filter method, destroy method. Say same solid type only. Init method takes solid config, here filter config. Do filter, it's like a service, solid request, solid response. But here one more additional chain. This is configuration purpose. Like any other filter configured, other filter executed. If not configured, solid executed. That purpose. Destroy. Destroy doesn't take any parameter. Now in these 3 methods, how many methods mandatory to override? One method, that is do filter. Okay, but here also later generic filter, HTTP filters introduced. Previously it was not there, recently came. So here also filter interface, generic filter class, do HTTP filter. Like this came. Write this one also. Filter interface, generic filter, HTTP filter. Interface, abstract class, abstract class. Over. Filter is interface. Generic filter is abstract class. HDP filter is abstract class. You studied. Solid is interface. Generic solid is abstract class. HDP solid is abstract class. Okay. Now, same concept here also. See, Java P Jakarta dot solid dot generic solid. See here. See, init method without parameter, init method with parameter. I'll explain no difference. This init. Okay. Like here, same. It is service also came. Service not required. Sorry, generic solid open. Jakarta dot generic filter. Say here init method with parameter, without parameter. Two init methods. That purpose this one. Two init method differences you studied. Okay. Now HDP filter also is there. HDP solid purpose. HDP purpose. HDP filter. Two do filter methods are there. Like two service methods you studied, no? Non-life cycle service, life cycle service. That type. Here solid request, solid response. But here HDP solid request, HDP solid response. Now, if you want to go for HDP, you can use this one. If you want HDP solid, then we can use this one. HDP solid request. Write these two methods. See, first method, second method difference only. HDP solid request, HDP solid response. Remaining same. Here solid request, solid response, filter chain. Here HDP solid request, HDP solid response, filter chain. If session tracking, redirecting, these concepts are required, then we have to compulsory, we have to go for HDP. So this life cycle do filter only calls this do filter. Here which one is life cycle, which one is non-life cycle? First one is life cycle, second one non-life cycle. Life cycle do filter calls non-life cycle do filter. That is service methods I explained or two service method, same style. Over. So servlet request, servlet response. Here HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. That's the difference. Now HTTP servlet request derived from servlet request. HTTP servlet response derived from servlet response. So you studied already generic servlet, HTTP servlet differences. What are the differences? Generic servlet, HTTP servlets you studied, no? What's the difference? Generic servlet is protocol independent. HTTP servlet is protocol dependent. Generic servlet supports common services. HTTP servlet supports HTTP specific services. What are the examples? Common service example? Forwarding including specific services, redirecting, session tracking. With the generic servlet, you cannot access HTTP servlet. HTTP servlet, you can access generic servlet because HTTP servlet is a subclass of generic servlet. Same style here also. Okay. HTTP filter, generic filter like that. Now, filter program we have to write. See, filter program how to write. Now, right click, new. Now you have to select filter. Now you have to select filter here. Here package name suppose filter. It is login filter. Here HTTP filter comes by default. Next. Here URL pattern you observe. Yesterday I given. Whenever request comes to welcome servlet, then login filter should execute. That is the reason same URL pattern welcome only or write. I'll explain. While executing, I'll explain. Next. Finish. Here. Destroy, do filter, init. See, init method came, do filter came, destroy came. Here, HTTP filter configured. Suppose you want HTTP servlet, then you can use here. HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet response. Now Control Shift O. Jakarta.servlet.filter. Finish. Now you observe. Destroy method, do filter method with HTTP servlet, init method. This line automatically came, you observe. See, pass the request along with filter chain. What we are saying is here, request and response we are passing to next servlet or next filter, whatever is configured in XML. This line by default it is coming. You should not remove this one. That is I'll explain. That importance I'll explain. First of all, yesterday diagram I given. In the diagram, we have to receive username, password. We have to check in database. If it exists, we have to pass the control to welcome servlet. Does not exist, invalid username, password. But first connection establishment code we have to write. Connection establishment code where we have to write? Init method. Here you have to write. So what you have to write? Class.forName. Oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Okay. Connection. If I write connection here, can we access here? No. That's what? Instance variable type. Connection. Now you can access anywhere. Connection equal to driver manager dot get connection. GDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon at localhost colon 1521 colon XE. Username system, password manager. With this connection established, with these two lines connection established. Now after that, username password we have to retrieve. So string s1 equal to request dot get parameter. Parameter name uname. Next, request dot get parameter keyword. We have to check in database. Already we created one somewhere uinfo table, no? That table only I'll use. Uinfo table we created. Login solid, welcome solid, registration solid at time. That table only I want to use here. Statement required or prepared statement required? Prepared. Prepared statement PSTMT equal to connection dot prepare statement. The SQL query we have tried. What we have tried? Select star from uinfo where uname equal to question mark and keyword equal to question mark. Okay. This is SQL query. After that, PSTMT dot set string. First question mark S1. Next, PSTMT dot set string. Second question mark S2. Okay. After this, which method you have to call? Execute or execute update or execute query? Execute query. Result set RS equal to repeat statement dot execute query. Here if rs dot next, then username exists. If exists means this line we have to write. This line, just only this line. What that line will do, if any other filter configured, other filter executed. If other filter is not configured, control will come back with that line. This is filter chain. Filter chain reference. See here, 3 parameters are there. 3 parameters, third parameter filter chain. With this filter chain executed. Filter chain dot do filter. Now, after this, else print writer response dot get writer pw dot println invalid username or password. This message, if you want to display with HTML, you can add HTML. Like this. Okay. Now, connection close here outright. Here we are getting error because try catch blocks. Destroy. In destroy method, connection close. Connection dot close. Here also, Alt Shift Z. Try multi-catch or try catch, you can write. Okay. Say, here what will happen? Connection established. Init method. Here username password retrieved. Here Here only thing, this is new concept. That is, while executing, you will understand. This is login filter. Okay. Now, still we are getting errors. 1 minute. Okay, no error. If I save, it will vanish. Now, right click, run as, run on server, save. Here, login.html. You observe already in a uinfo table, AAA user, BBB user, that is exists. AAA. If I click submit button, you are getting welcome. This welcome output from welcome solid. Okay. If the given password is wrong, what is output comes? That output from filter comes or HTML solid comes? Which one? Filter. It is from filter. But in the address bar, welcome only. Now I want to remove filter. Anytime you can remove. How? See. Here XML you can open. In this XML, filter configuration will be there. See. Filter. I'll remove. Control X. Remove. Now you can see. Right click. Run as. Run on server. Now filter is not going to be executed. Anytime you can add the filter, anytime you can remove the filter. Now, login.html. Now, any username, any password, welcome. Because that is not checking in database now. I removed filter. Now, any username, any password, always welcome. That type. Because the filter is removed. That is called dynamic dispatching. Anytime you can add, anytime you can remove. Say, I want to add again. Now, Control Z, added. Now, again you can run. Right click, run as, run on server. Like this, we cannot remove solid, but filter we can remove. Now, login.html. If you type any other password, any invalid comes. Like this. Now, what is the benefit of this one? Suppose this is mail application. Later this filter, if you want to apply to chart, again configure in XML. One more service comes in future, again configure. Configuration only required, filter always execute now. That type. So, I given this example. This is static dispatching. We cannot remove this all. But dynamic dispatching diagram I given. So in future, say here HTML, it is login.html. It is login.html. It is suppose mail solid. Now I given welcome solid. Welcome solid. Now when you click on submit button here, when you click on submit button here, then control passed here. When control comes here I already configured in XML. Web.xml I configured. Whenever request comes to welcome solid, divert the control to login filter. login filter, divert. Then what will happen? This control diverted to login filter. It is login filter. Now, your username password retrieved. It is checking in a database. It is checking in a database. If exist, here if exist, what is there? See, if exist, here chain dot do filter. That method, what it will do? Again, it will check in the configuration. Not there, control will come back. Now, else, invalid username password. Now, if you remove these all, these two removed. If you add again, it will be added. Suppose in future, one more HTML, one more solid. Here, if you click on submit button, this solid. Now, here I want to add this login. Then you can configure here 2 lines. Then what will happen? It will comes here. Again, it will be comes here. So anytime you can add. So in future, one more, it is mail service. In future, chat service comes, or in future, game service comes. You can add this filter to that one also. That is dynamic dispatching. Anytime you can add, anytime you can remove. Okay. That program, login filter,